WL Sports, where we review all the best sports takes from around the country. Now, you're probably wondering, why should I watch your clip over here rather than over there? Because over there, they do not care about your views and opinions. They do not read the comments. They talk down on us all the time. They say this literally at least once a week, how we don't know what we're talking about. We're just a bunch of random fans, bunch of losers in the comments on YouTube or Reddit and stuff like that. And you know what? I disagree. I think we know exactly what we're talking about. And so I read every single comment. So if you think what I'm saying is the most ridiculous thing ever, let me know in the comments below. If you think what I'm saying is the most amazing thing ever, then also definitely let me know. Either way, let's get into some discussions, let's get into some fights, and ultimately, let's just have some fun. So I would really, really appreciate it if you could subscribe, because we are building an amazing community here. I truly believe we can build a very special community. I see this just as much as my channel as it is yours. And I want to build something that we're all proud to be part of. Something that we can't wait to click and go and comment and watch and just be part of something. So please subscribe. I really think you're going to enjoy it, and I would absolutely love to have you part of this journey. So without further ado, let's get to it. Right now, we're watching a clip with First Things First about Chiefs and the Bills Super Bowl odds and kind of the Dolphins and what it means with Josh Allen if he doesn't make the playoffs, or, you know, kind of the breakdown of what's going on with Josh Allen right now.
Would missing the playoffs say about Josh Allen?
Again, I love the Elway comp, the Favre comp. They are very similar, you know, aside from the 5 Super Bowls for Elway and the MVPs. They line up quite nicely. Listen, missing the playoffs would be a massive indictment.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just be totally fair here. Would making the Super Bowl mean something for Josh Allen?
Yes.
Would it say something about Josh Allen? Yes, right? What's the opposite of making the Super Bowl? Missing the playoffs? Should that say something about Josh Allen? Should that say something about how...
No, the opposite of making the Super Bowl is coming in last place, you know? So that's what the opposite is. I want to pause real fast right now, because this is like an absurd comparison, and it's not fair. Because the way how their division has unfolded is that the Dolphins are really good. If the Dolphins were in the Chiefs division, the Chiefs would be fighting for their playoff spot. And would that be a disaster for Patrick Mahomes? Yeah, it would be. And so Patrick Mahomes was given a gift this season by having a terrible division that's just playing bad. They got backup quarterbacks, fired coaches. Seriously, his division, the Chiefs division has two fired coaches, okay? From the Chargers and the Raiders. That's a big deal. And the Broncos have a benched coach. And the Raiders have, you know, like also a benched quarterback for the Broncos. And sorry, I'm all over the place. And also the Chargers have an injured quarterback. And the you know, the other team, the Raiders, also have like a bench starting quarterback and playing backup. That is a disaster. And if Cincinnati Bengals didn't have an injury and a backup quarterback and all this, like, literally the Chiefs would in theory be fighting for a wild card spot. That's the reality. The Bills, on the other hand, are in a very weird, unique situation where if they win, they'll get the literal 2 seed, which is obviously legit, right? Getting the top 2 seeds in your conference is a big deal. Or if they lose, they could maybe not even make the playoffs. So that is just how the season unfolded, how the divisions unfolded. And so that blame should not go on Josh Allen. Not to mention these other teams like Patrick Mahomes. You have Andy Reid and Travis Kelce, and you have, you know, you have more competent offensive minds around you that help Patrick Mahomes succeed, and Patrick Mahomes is still struggling. Josh Allen is literally playing better than Patrick Mahomes this season. Has way more total touchdowns, and it's not even close. And it's one of those things where Josh Allen is doing that with a defensive head coach. You know, they fired their offensive coordinator. You know, drama with Diggs. Like there's all these other issues, and so what Josh Allen has done so far is honestly really great. And that's why I always want to encourage us. I really want to build this channel to just have smarter analysis, because I believe we can look beyond just the box score, beyond just the lazy narratives and the lazy stories of just, you got to make the playoffs. If you don't make the playoffs, you're a bum. Yeah, sometimes that's absolutely true, right? Absolutely true. But let's be smarter about it. Let's break it down. Let's actually look at the circumstances right now, and let's see where another team would be. If you put the Chiefs, switch that around and put the Chiefs in the division with the Bills and have the Bills play that, one would be locked in the playoffs while the other one would be in the same spot as the Bills. So it just doesn't make any sense. And so it's an unfair bias to put on the Bills, and especially it's no surprise that Nick Wright, who just does not like the Bills and obviously loves the Chiefs, is making.
How this player is discussed, how this player is tiered, how this player is ranked. Of course it should. And listen, there are great quarterbacks who missed the playoffs periodically throughout their career. Peyton Manning famously, we all remember the clip, playoffs early in his career. And so it's not Aaron Rodgers. The last year Mike McCarthy was his head coach, was healthy, and they missed the playoffs. So I am not acting like that it is. Brady never did when he was healthy. No. Mahomes never has.
Well, Brady's second year after the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's correct. I mean, once we consider Brady
And again, Brady, who I think is amazing and is the GOAT, was given the gift that for literally his entire dynastic run, the Bills were awful. The Miami Dolphins were awful. The Jets had like a couple seasons of a good run. And then after that, they were awful. They pretty much had guaranteed division wins, and so obviously they're going to make the playoffs. That really matters. That matters without a doubt. And now Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs have the same luxury. For all these years, the Broncos have been awful. The Raiders have been awful. The Chargers have been awful. So Patrick Mahomes is able to really take advantage of that. Okay? And so you can't overlook that. You have to look at the circumstances of what's going on. It's like not every division and conference for that matter is created equally.
Great player, but yeah, you're right. Throw that in there. That's fair. And so I also think there is this, and Brew and I argue about this a bit, but I think we mostly agree. There is this idea that Josh Allen is a great postseason performer because the totality of his numbers say it. Sure. But when you look at the games, what you see is two just out of this world, some of the best statistical playoff games ever. And right, exactly. The 2021 postseason, where he lost one of those games but played as well as he possibly could have. 3 games where he played fine, and 3 games where he played poorly. But the numbers look great. If he loses this game, and they're in a win and you're in scenario, this is as close to a playoff game as there are. And so that, to me, would be then 3 consecutive bad playoff games. He was bad in the win against Miami last year.
We could say their last 4 games have been playoff games.
And the thing is, though, again, he has not had a good squad. He has not had a good team. Look at all these other teams that have legit household names, big players, bona fide Hall of Famers, okay? We already went down the Chiefs. The Chiefs, obviously, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Andy Reid. I mean, just that alone is enough to be like, let's go. We can make some noise. The Eagles, for Jalen Hurts has had, Lane Johnson, who's considered to be one of the best offensive linemen ever, in the history of the game. Bona fide Hall of Famer. Jason Kelce, bona fide Hall of Famer, without a doubt. Now this year, or more recent years, Mailata and, a couple other players that, are becoming also household names as they kind of develop. And so, and then obviously having A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, like those are real weapons. Last year when the Eagles were doing real well, everyone was just said Jalen Hurts isn't that good of a quarterback. It's all because of his weapons. Put anyone in there and they will succeed. You don't have that with Josh Allen. Josh Allen has never been gifted that. Patrick Mahomes was dealt a royal flush. Josh Allen was dealt like pocket tens, okay? He had got, pocket tens, and the flop came, Jack, Queen, 7, and it's just like, that's not great because, someone's probably got a better pair than me. And like, I can maybe make a straight, but like, I need multiple cards to do that. And it's like, I can maybe make something happen, or maybe I don't. Maybe I just bust and flop, and just lose all my money, or I just have to fold them. And so that's, again, it's just not fair. You can't compare Josh Allen to that. Elway did amazing after he got like an elite run game, right? Like that was like kind of the big thing that really helped him get over the hump and win the Super Bowls, when he had like a big running back. And also a Hall of Fame tight end. So those things matter. I mean, it just matters. And he has a defensive head coach that really looks like he has no idea what he's doing. And again, they had to fire their offensive coordinator and all of that type of stuff. So Josh Allen has not been blessed with good coaching and good players, and that clearly matters, indisputably.
Games. Now, he hadn't played great, but they've won.
Sure, but this would be, if the Steelers and Jags win, this is a win and you're in a de facto playoff game. The Miami win in the wild card round last year, he had 3 turnovers, played poorly. The Bengals game played outright bad. And if he plays poorly in this, of course it should say something about it. Yeah. It's not a death knell on his career, or it's not an overwhelming indictment. But of course you have to knock him down, Brew, just like we will elevate him if this team makes the Super Bowl.
First of all, as you guys know, I've compared him to Brett Favre. I like the Elway comparison, too. I really do. And it's appropriate because guess who, in their 6th season, failed to make the playoffs? John Elway.
Had he already made
He had been to 2 Super Bowls, but they were, my gosh, they were bad experiences for him.
Well,
he had been to 2 Super Bowls, thrown 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and the one before that, he threw 3 interceptions, completed less than 40% of his passes.
Sure.
So Elway, my point is this,
disastrous.
and you brought it up with Brady and Rodgers and Peyton Manning. There seems to be this feeling of once you get in the playoffs and once you're like a guy, you should make the playoffs every year. And what I'm saying is we've seen some of the greats. Yep. That's not the case. In fact, with Elway, after they missed the playoffs his 6th year, they went to the Super Bowl the next year and then missed the playoffs again.
Yeah.
So look, if he misses the playoffs, it's obviously a negative. But I won't make any overarching statements about him. It won't make me think he's not a great player. It won't make me think he's not a top quarterback. It will make me feel like he had a down year. Passing-wise, he's down in everything except completion percentage. Yeah. But rushing, obviously, he's setting an NFL record for rush TDs for a quarterback. But I think it's overall.
And he's setting the record because he has no one to do it with. He has to put the whole, that's proof that he has to put this team on his back. They're asking him to be Superman every single game, every single play. That's brutal to do. Look at Patrick Mahomes' numbers this year, and they are not that great. And they're comparable to Josh Allen. And, the Chiefs technically, Patrick Mahomes should be doing better. I mean, they just flat out should be doing better considering, the team that he does have around him and just the sheer fact that he has Andy Reid, but he's not. So, you're forcing Josh Allen to put his head down and get beat up and force himself into the end zone. It's like, no, these aren't little like rinky-dink little touchdowns that he's getting. He has to fight for every inch he gets. And granted, he's a big boy, but, that's no easy feat. If it was that easy, every quarterback would do it. Every quarterback would have 15 touchdowns, and they don't. The only other one who does is Jalen Hurts, and that's because of the infamous tush-push, brotherly shove, whatever you want to call it.
All a down year. And, Nick, my biggest takeaway from this will be he needs a new coach. And he needs an offensive-minded coach. Okay. Well, and they should start now. I'm not really shopping Stephon Diggs because I think with a new coach, maybe he unlocks Diggs again, and this relationship on the field is great under new coach. But I'm open to listening to trades for Stephon Diggs if it's a player who's of comparable talent, but I don't have to deal with the headache. So, if I don't get a receiver who's great or as great as Diggs, I'm not trading him. But if I do, I'm listening.
Go ahead, Waz.
All right, so I'm going to kind of twist the question. And this is the graphic that Josh made. Bills this season before and after. I mean, he did get a new coach. He got a new offensive coordinator. So we obviously see the record, right? 5-1. The most interesting part of this graphic is rush play percentage.
They're taking the ball out of his hands.
They now rush the ball at a higher percentage than any team in the NFL, which means, on the flip side of the coin, they throw the ball less. Now, they don't throw the ball totally less because, Bryce Young out there getting 4 and outs or 3 and outs. So there's still he can still have.
But as a percentage of your offense,
remember he threw 15 passes against Dallas.
They are calling runs.
Yes.
So I wonder if he misses the playoffs, did they actually, and they go 5-2 in the span, did they actually have the wrong plan in the beginning of the season? That this is the way Josh Allen needs to play?
Hold on, but no, it's not. The biggest strength of the Bills is Josh Allen. I think America's most prominent Josh Allen truth teller, who gets painted as a critic, will say he is the best player on the team.
Okay.
That what they have done in this stretch, and I think the most notable part of, I think you almost have to go game by game in the winning streak.
Sure.
Against the Chiefs, they were throwing the ball and they held on for dear life. I didn't think he played well. Yeah, against the Cowboys, I don't know that the plan was we're just going to run. It was working. Why go away from it?
Yep.
And then you were playing two teams that were at such a talent disadvantage, and because you can't really trust Josh against bad teams to not turn the ball over, and he did turn it over in those games, they just leaned on the run more. I think that if you are going into a season with Josh Allen as your quarterback and your plan is we're going to be a ground and pound team, then you don't have the right offensive.
So I agree with that, but again, the thing is you're just trying to take some of the pressure off of Josh Allen because you're asking him to be Superman every single play and game, like I already said. So by increasing the run, you're taking some of that off of him. Again, Nick Wright sees Patrick Mahomes as the GOAT, and Patrick Mahomes can't even do that. So they have comparable stats, same touchdown to interception ratio, same completion percentage, all of these things. Except Josh Allen has 15 rushing touchdowns. So, and that rushing stat, I'm not sure if that's only factoring in, handoffs, and it's not factoring in Josh Allen rushing as well. Because if memory serves me correctly, I think he's rushed for 800 yards or something, or I'm not, I don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% positive, but he makes moves with his feet, without a doubt, which is important, is a skill set, obviously, right? So you can't just discredit that and discount that. So I think really that run game and doing that type of thing, that's what happens with a lot of teams. He's saying that Dak Prescott is the MVP. That's what Nick Wright believes. And I don't know the exact numbers, but it's something like when they asked Dak to throw the ball over 35 times or 40 times, I forget exactly what it is. Their record is horrible. It's terrible, terrible, terrible. But when they ask Dak to throw less, they win more games. That's a fact. Again, you can look that up. I don't have that right in front of me right now, but that is a sheer fact. Are you saying that the Cowboys are taking the ball out of Dak's hands? I mean, maybe if that's what you want to say. So if you're saying that's what the Bills are doing because they don't trust him, well, then that's what they did with Dak. And if you're saying that Dak is the MVP, how do we make sense of that? So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. Please let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So if you think what I'm saying is ridiculous, let me know. If you think what I'm saying is amazing, also let me know. Let's get into some discussions. Let's get into some fights. And ultimately, let's have some fun. And please do not forget to subscribe. We are building an amazing community and it's going so well. It's turning into something truly special. And I really see it just as much as mine as it is yours. And I want you to be proud to be part of this channel. Thank you so much.